Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Ms. Cepeda Freitas,
Here.
Ms. Goodman Hintershitz,
Here.
Mr. Marmaru,
Here.
Ms. Reed,
Here.
Ms. Helmet,
Here.
Ms. Ventura,
Here.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Here.
7 present, none absent.
Okay, we have a proclamation and presentation this evening. I believe Johanny is going to read this proclamation, and it's commending Wanda Holdren, owner of WH Academy. So I'm going to turn it over to you, Johanny.
Sure. And, unfortunately, Wanda Holdren is unable to join us this evening. She's doing what she loves, which is teaching. So she has her classes scheduled out. However, one of the things that I've always appreciated about Wanda is that she's always present with her group. She's doing a great work with our youth in the city of Reading, our community, through dance. And she's always present at events, activities, and she's always so adamant about the preservation of our history, our heritage, and our culture as it relates to being Latinos and celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. So without further ado, the commendation reads as follows. Whereas Wanda I. Holdren, founder of Latin Flair and founder of the Wanda Holdren Dance Academy, known as WH Dance Academy, and whereas Ms. Holdren has had a passionate love for dance since she was 6 years of age and has turned that passion into a career spanning the years. She has established a reputation both nationally and internationally as a talented dance teacher and performer. She has traveled all over the world competing in Latin dance, and whereas Ms. Holdren has held numerous certifications as a Latin dance instructor, having been trained by Julie Mayoral Dance Academy and the Victor Dance Studio. She has been presented as an instructor and dancer at national events, as well as the Olympus Dance Challenge, International Dance Challenge, Puerto Rico Salsa Congress, and the National Dance Showcase. And whereas Ms. Holdren was nominated in 2008 as a World Salsa instructor, and in 2007 to 2010, she was named as an ambassador for Hispanic Choice Award. In those years, she began a Latin dance program embracing diversity and celebrating cultures in the local school districts. And whereas Ms. Holdren established the WH Dance Academy and upholds the highest dance standards, she has remarkable faith in herself and acknowledges the community that has supported her throughout her journey in making WH Dance Academy the vast success it is. Now, therefore, it is with great pride and honor that the City of Reading City Council recognizes Hispanic Heritage Month and commends Wanda Holdren and WH Dance Academy for the unwavering dedication and commitment they continue to provide their community in the City of Reading.
Thank you, Johanny. We are going to move on to the public comment portion of our agenda. We only have 2 written speakers this evening. We have letters submitted. Since they are written, we don't need to read the public guidelines. I think Donna knows them well. I'm going to ask Councilwoman Donna Reed to read those 2 letters onto the record, please.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. The first letter is from Christina Reed, no relation I'm aware of, but from Christina Reed. And the comments go as follows. Quote, good evening, City Council. It is unfortunate, financially debilitating, emotionally tolling, mentally exhausting, and oppressive when a person has to hide their vehicle or not drive in the city because of the new amendments to Reading Parking Authority enforcement practices. Hardly any information has been advertised to the public regarding these changes. Tickets have now gone paperless. They claim that they mail the tickets out to people. At the time of the amendment for paperless tickets was approved by the Parking Board and or City Council, I have yet to receive a single ticket through the mail. If it were not for my reading of city business meetings, I would not have known that tickets have gone paperless. The change to paperless tickets has never been advertised on the Reading Parking Authority website, which seems to be ethically wrong and abusive. It's been months since this change has happened, and no advertisement has been made on RPA website, but they continue to issue paperless tickets. Now, the Parking Authority was able to make sure that they updated their fine fees schedule as soon as possible once City Council approved the raising of those fees. The same was not done for other changes. Residents are now being forced to hide their vehicles or choose not to visit the city in fear of receiving citations being booted. The increase in fine fees during the pandemic has proven difficult for citizens in Forest City. An inspection ticket by police anywhere in the state of Pennsylvania is $25. Only in the city of Reading is a fine cost $70, which is up from $45 since January 2021. Since January 2021, if you receive a $100 parking ticket and cannot afford to pay the citation all at once, you cannot begin a payment plan until you either let the ticket go up to $200 in 30 days or receive another 2 tickets by the authority or police. I had 2 tickets advertising $150. I was told by the RPA that I could not begin a payment plan unless I had 3 tickets totaling $150, or I wait till one of the tickets goes up and sets a new debt of $200 or more. I was being denied the payment plan only because I didn't have another ticket. When I did let the ticket go up, I went to the authority to begin the payment plan. I was then told by the authority staff that I could not begin the payment plan unless I paid half of the debt owed. I didn't have the $150 before, which is why I waited, which makes you think, what makes you think I'm gonna have $100 now is what I told the staff. I was told by the authority staff that I could no longer dispute the tickets because I waited 30 days, was one, and number 2, my vehicle is now subject to tow. I could not understand how every other parking authority in the state of Pennsylvania gives 14 days to pay a citation before penalties are imposed, which seemed logical, excuse me, because most people are paid 5 minutes remaining every 14 days. Not in the city of Reading. The city of Reading get only 10 days to figure it out. Most people might not get paid in those 10 days. It is abusive and oppressive. The manner in which the parking authority is conducting enforcement would only make those people affected by it want to move out of the city for good, especially if the city and its council is doing absolutely nothing to remedy the situation. When did the Reading Parking Authority change their established hours of residential enforcement of parking by Reading Parking Authority officers to 24/7/365, and why hasn't this change been posted and advertised to the public through the RPA website and or the city's website, considering they are now working in cooperation? I feel the city holds a responsibility in keeping transparency and making sure the public is not misled. There's so much more, so little time to go over everything. Something must be done. City Council cannot continue to turn a blind eye. Thank you for listening, Christina Reed. And then the second comment comes from Pastor Stephen McCracken and the members of St. James Chapel. Quote, I am of the understanding that our parking authority is asking to have parking meters active 7 days a week. I and the members of my congregation are requesting that the administration and council deny the parking authority's request to allow parking meters to be active on Sundays. Needless to say, that would have a negative impact on our Sunday services. Again, Pastor Stephen McCracken, members of St. James Chapel.
All right, thank you, Donna. Council, if anyone has an immediate need to offer any quick response, you can do that now. Otherwise, you can wait to the end of the meeting to make some comment.
Donna, what was the first violation you read? What was it for?
It seemed to be a comprehensive, I think you probably received, or Linda can give you a printout. It was a comprehensive concern about fees, schedules, enforcement, costs, and the penalties of cars being booted and towed. So in general, the increase in fees, the overall enforcement, and concerns about that, and being able to be put on payment. Does that sound right, everyone?
Any other comments at this time? All right, if not, we're going to move on to the next item on our agenda, and that brings us up to the approval of our agenda and minutes, including the minutes from our September 13th regular meeting and approving the summations of discussion from our September 13th and September 20th committee of the whole meetings, as well as our September 20th nominations committee meeting. As well with our agenda and minutes, we also approve our consent agenda legislation. I'm going to read through the consent agenda items. The first item is a resolution amending the CDBG action plan in the amount of $1.3 million in CDBG funding to replace engine 3, house at the 3rd and Court Streets Fire Station, and to purchase a new apparatus to replace engine 9, house at the 9th and Marion Streets Fire Station. The CDBG funding will be provided by closing out the previous year CDBG activities and reducing the funding for the delayed Department of Public Works projects and assist meeting the annual CDBG timelines test requirement. The next item under the consent agenda consent agenda items is a resolution authorizing the execution and submission of the application for phase 2. Actually, we're going to move this under resolution, so that's not getting read at this time. The following items are part of the consent agenda: an award of contract for engineering and planning review services to Hawk Valley Associates of Milton, PA, in the amount of $80,000. An award of contract for the 9th and Marion Fire Station for the plumbing work. An award of contract to the 9th and Marion Fire Station, the electrical work. An award of contract for the 9th and Marion Station general contractor. And an award of contract for the 9th and Marion Station fire protection system as well. Those amounts, let me take a moment to just walk through those for everybody, just so we're able to publicly state them. Give me 1 second, please. All right, so the contract for the plumbing is a total amount of $646,940. The contract for the electrical is for $873,333.40. The contract for the general contractor is $5,948,000. And the other contract for fire protection is in the amount of $127,900. Just so everyone's clear on those amounts, we did review them as a body. There is still one more, I believe, HVAC contract to be awarded, and that'll be forthcoming. Okay, Council, so we have the agenda, the minutes, and the consent agenda items. Are there any objections to the approval of those items? All right, if there are no objections, they stand as approved. We are going to move on to the administrative report, and we're going to welcome the Honorable Mayor Eddie Moran. He will be giving us a report this evening. Eddie, good evening, sir.
Good evening to you, Council President, Council members, members of the administration, and the public that's listening. Thank you for the opportunity to share a few words. I'm going to start off the report by acknowledging several events that I have personally attended. And then I'm going to turn it over to the manager and directors. I'm challenged slightly by my speaking abilities. But with that said, in the past couple of days or weeks, I have attended several activities, starting off with the Santander Arena 20th anniversary celebration, where Mr. Michael Element, chairman of the Berks County Convention Center Authority, was honored on September 7th. So that was a great event. A lot of individuals were there, but most importantly, it gave me a good sense that we are getting a little closer to reality, as I saw in front of that building, so many events that are coming up. Then on September 10th, I attended a roundtable discussion regarding surrounding Amtrak's plan to expand their service area to include 3 new routes. The new routes are Reading to Philly, to New York, to Scranton to New York, and Allentown to New York. All locations had rail service at one point. So it seems like this is going to be a reality that has been spoken about for many, many years. Amtrak and the governor was on the phone and on the table while we were having this discussion and talking about the plans itself. And it was very fruitful and full of possibilities that this eventually is going to happen within the coming years. I also participated in the September 11th memorial service at City Park on that day, September, memorizing the 20th year anniversary. As you all know, or many of you may know, I had some vivid memories of that day as I was on and around that neighborhood that I often don't like talking about. However, I did share a little bit that day. And it was a very special moment, to say the least. I also attended the amazing grand opening of College Town, Avernia, where I shared some words of encouragement and collaboration. That day's team was all about participation and partnership, which was evident, which is in sync with my favorite word, synergy. Then yesterday, yesterday I was honored to have had been a sponsor of the city of the second annual Puerto Rican Day Parade and Festival, which, to say the least, was amazing. One of the reasons why I'm sounding a little hoarse this afternoon. It was a day of festivity. It was a day of cultural. In fact, I shared a statement earlier today, which I'd like to share with you guys. You know, having seen the smiles and the sense of pride of everyone that was attended yesterday was amazing. You know, cultural celebration foster respects and open mindedness to other cultures, celebrating our differences as well as our common interests. It helps unite and educate us to understand others' perspective, to burden our own and broaden our own rather, and to fully experience and educate ourselves. In fact, you know, I share in one word, yesterday was about heritage. And again, it was in recognition of the Hispanic Heritage Month. So I believe yesterday's parade, which went without incident, was a true winner for everybody. Also coming up, we're gonna welcome the Pennsylvania Latino Convention that starts tomorrow, where we have 3 days of activities, education, celebration happening throughout the city, starting off with a prayer and city chambers. And then it was going to continue with some opening remarks and reception at Centrifano, and ultimately many activities on the 29th and the 30th at the DoubleTree, where there's going to be a lot of sessions, a lot of activity. We have some amazing individuals coming to town on the next few days. I mean, from the private sector to entrepreneurships, to poets, to elected officials such as U.S. Senator Casey, Josh Shapiro. I know the Wolf administration is going to have representation. So there is a very, very exciting time in our community. As you all know, we just recently had the downtown convention last week as well. That was attended by Mr. Amaros, as I couldn't attend. And I'm going to now turn it over to him and allow him to share a little bit about that event and proceed with the rest of the report.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Under community development, the department began developing its plans for the city lead-based paint hazard reduction program, which you all heard about several weeks ago in the community of the whole. And that was submitted by September the 24th. The department also continues its work on process improvements with the property maintenance department. Supervisors are implementing updated strategies that include a complaint list, response time tracking, actionable follow-up, and resident outreach regarding quality of life concerns. The department has also completed amendments to the certificate of property transfer ordinance for residential properties, which you have on your agenda for this evening. PMI will then list any code infractions and bring them to the attention of the buyer. PMI will also hold the landlords accountable for remedies of code violations, including sidewalks and rear alley areas. The Finance Department's Information Technology Division received some of the equipment that has been on back order since 2022. As many of you know, supply chain delays are pandemic related. And the Finance Department Citizen Service Center continues working on outstanding issues related to residential trash accounts. These accounts are provided to the Reading Area Water Authority for billing purposes, and the CSC is now fielding calls from those that may not have had noticed the changes, but are now discovering city's trash services fees on their monthly RAWA bills. The CSC will continue to work with callers on their issues or concerns. The Finance Department's accounting division staff and treasury have also participated in on-site configuration sessions with Tyler Tech project manager and consultants. These virtual sessions will continue as the chart of accounts are loaded into the new accounting system. And the Finance Department's grants division is also requesting a matching fund waiver from the state for the Pennsylvania DCED Keystone Communities Program Development Grant. The grant will go towards the 800 block of Penn Street South Courtyard Improvement Project, which will improve seating, paving, landscaping, drainage, lighting, parking, ADA, and all courtyard walkway areas to the site. And also piggybacking on the mayor's comments, the fire department led what I thought was just an absolutely beautiful September 11th memorial service at City Park at the band shell. The event honored the lives lost in September 11th attacks and also celebrated the survivors as well and the first responders who were assisting in recovery efforts. The Human Relations Commission has 1,040 total rent and utility assistance applications received, which is an addition of 17 applications since last report. 37 applications were for utility assistance. And we continue working with families to make sure that they are either not displaced or go homeless as well. It is certainly an uphill challenge, but we are looking at other resources as well. The Reading Public Library's summer program ran for 10 weeks over the summer. And brief recap is as follows: 30 live virtual events were held with 154 in attendance, 128 recorded on-demand programs with 2,007 views, 118 pop-up sessions with 1,320 attendees, 4 outdoor events at the Southeast Branch Library with 34 attendees, 2,621 go packs, which were distributed. And the Children's Library at the main branch library received great feedback from a mom who participated in that summer program. She stated that reading bingo challenges allowed her to learn about her children's book offerings and also expand the genres she shared with her 3 young children. And lastly, under the library, the Dr. Jerome Marcus Meeting Commons Room at the Southeast Branch is now open for use. All connective technology is fully functional. Ceiling microphone and sound masking are also currently on back order, and once it arrives, the equipment will be added. The police department's additional deployments to Pagoda and riverfront areas have effectively reduced quality of life issues and complaints. These deployments will continue for the foreseeable future. The police department also continues to explore a variety of recruiting efforts. Lieutenant Lance Lillis has scheduled recruiting events at area colleges, universities, and other local events. For those interested, an entry-level civil service test is scheduled for October 23rd at Alvernia University. And the police department also continues to engage the community by attending community forums. One was last week at the Mount Olivet's Club, Boys and Girls Club, which recently have focused on youth violence. And I want to commend the police department for its fantastic efforts last week in the throes of violence as well. Under Public Works, the department has drained the reservoir at Eagleman's Dam, which satisfied DEP safety concern. The Public Works Department is awaiting the receipt of a $350,000 DCED grant award agreement for the rehabilitation project to begin. And as a matter of information for the council members, we do have a follow-up meeting scheduled for tomorrow afternoon on the dams. Public Works has completed phase 1 of the city's sidewalk project. Phase 2 will proceed and focus on repairs and construction. And Public Works Clean City Coordinator began working with the Hope Rescue Mission on the areas of south of Penn and the Bingham Street corridor. So that concludes my report. Happy to answer any questions that any of you may have.
If I may, real quick before I also wanted to add in regards to the Public Library and Hispanic Heritage Month, I am scheduled to do a reading to a large group of young adults, little ones, and the public library tomorrow. And that's going to be at 4 p.m. They do need to register in order to participate. But my understanding is that there is a large group already registered. And this is going to take place at the Northeast Library. Of course, we're mandates to follow some of the CDC requirements, such as wearing a mask. Also, I wanted to mention, and I found my notes in regards to the PA convention. I mentioned about some of the different others that are going to be coming. That way, maybe could bring some gain interest. This is not just for Latino. Lieutenant Governor John Fetterman is going to be present. Secretary Lady Giselle Barreto Fetterman is going to be present, and Secretary of Aging and good friend of mine Robert Torres is going to be present. Secretary of Education Dr. Noe Ortega will be present. PA Physician General, Dr. Dean. And actually from the White House, we're going to have a presidential appointee, Ms. Gretchen Sierra Sorita. She's an associate director for Puerto Rico and territories and Office of Intergovernmental Affairs. So, it's going to be a really exciting time, again, as I stated earlier, here in the city of Reading, welcoming all these individuals. All righty, guys, turn it back to you guys.
All right, Mayor and Abe, thank you very much for the report. I'm going to open it up to council members with any questions or comments at this time. Please speak up because I can't see your hands. Who would like to go first with any questions?
Hi, Jeff. It's Lucine. I have my hand up.
Go ahead, Lucy.
So first, I want to thank Mayor Moran for coming this evening. I've asked and you have responded, and I very much appreciate it. My question is two. So one is for the managing director. If you can repeat or give a little bit more detail on the 800 block grant match for Penn Street, please.
Hang on one moment, please. I'm having technical. Okay, I'm sorry. Can you repeat that, Counselor?
Yeah, sorry, I'm not having technical issues. I'm having family issues. It's a family meeting tonight. Can you please review the details of the 800 block grant? I believe you said that we are asking or preparing for a match for that grant.
That is correct. I don't have all the details in front of me, but I'm certain that I could provide a question and answer for you tomorrow. I know that the grant is coming from the Keystone Communities Program Development Grant, and I know that that is for paving, landscaping, drainage, lighting, and parking. I will be more than happy to get you all the details tomorrow, but I do know that it is a significant grant and one that surrounding municipalities have taken advantage of in the past. We have quite a bit of money that is available through us through DCD. And during the Pennsylvania Downtown Convention Center, we had some really good conversations, folks from DCD who want us to engage them more, which we will, on money that may be available for the improvement of third-class cities, especially these corridors. So I will be more than happy to get you more details on that tomorrow, Council.
Okay, I'll look forward to that. I was under the impression that we had submitted an application and we're waiting for an award. And several people have asked me to update them. So as soon as we can connect, I'll be happy to share that information with those who have asked me for updates, as that is part of District 1. Second, I heard that our relationship with the Hope Rescue Mission as it pertains to Clean City Coordinator has started efforts in the south side and towards the Bingaman Street Bridge. I want to make sure I heard that correctly, and I want to understand the administration's plan on that, as to make sure that it's in full alignment and complement to the downtown presence of Hope Rescue. And then also adding additional areas, because I know we've been talking about that recently.
Yes, that is consistent with your understanding, Counselor, and I have asked Mr. Turchi for a meeting. I'm still waiting to hear back on a time, but I have told him that I would gladly come over to the Hope Rescue Mission to engage him in further discussion. But my understanding is that the work has started, it will continue, and we just need to look over the memorandum of understanding to make sure that everything is consistent, not just in terms of the work, but the billing as well. So I do look forward to having that meeting with him.
Okay, thank you.
Any additional comments from council?
Johanny had one.
Go ahead, Johanny.
So thank you for the presentation, Mayor. I really appreciate it. Just a thought and a recommendation. So I loved how well organized the parade and the event at City Park, like how the events took place. I mean, it was so well organized. People were enjoying the day, the activities, the venue. I just wonder if for future, if we could use a similar venue to gather people to maybe tackle violence and get them to come on board to help us tackle violence, especially when it comes to our youth. And I share this with you because while I was at City Park, I was talking to a lot of people and they kept referencing, the youth violence and how we need to start tackling that. And how now we gather people this way, because, our community loves to party. So how do we use what they like so they can help us address the immediate needs of our community? Second, the Reading Police Department, I have to say that I've seen a lot of visibility on the Instagram advertising the test. I wonder if we can also advertise on La Mega, being that they have such a drawing of people, and obviously Sunday's event and 2 years ago's event is an example of how much people they draw in. So I would encourage that we use La Mega also to advertise, if we haven't done it already, to advertise these upcoming tests so that we can continue to recruit for the police department. Thank you so much.
All right, any additional comments, anyone?
I would like to respond to that if I can real
Yeah.
quick. Councilwoman, I love, definitely thinking alike. In fact, when I collaborating with the community and engaging the community in non-for-profit, which I have heard from 2 council people for providing me a list, at least that I could recall. If I miss anybody, please forgive me, but thank you, Councilwoman Lucine. I got your list earlier today. And of course, we have, as we spoke the other day. So those are the things that I plan to hope that we can engage the community in creating activities, forums, and cultural events that is going to engage the youth. So, definitely on board with that. As far as advertising with La Mega, that's an easy one. It's the fundings are available and reach out to
I don't know, do we lose you, Eddie?
the chief and to communication, not only La Mega, but then we also have,
We have you
Can you
back,
guys
keep
hear me?
going. You're good, yeah.
Okay, so I was referring that, I don't know how much you heard, but that I am going to be talking with the chief of police to find out what kind of fundings we have and a communications coordinator to make sure that we advertise not only in La Mega, but Rumba and some of the hip hop local stations that have a good audience as well.
All right, are there any additional comments from members of council?
Yes, Jeff. Just to follow through on both the mayor and Johanny's comments, and then a question for the managing director. There is a lot of synergy going on in our community around youth violence. However, a lot of it, I've been attending meetings, assisting with grant proposals. A lot of it at this point is in its infancy stages as far as being connected. So we need to be able to work with the community leaders that are stepping forward, because there can be so much more synergy around this, especially some of the good evidence-based practices that are happening down in Philadelphia. I mentioned them before. I send people links on them. I think that they're ready to come and help us with the work that we need to do here in Reading. And it's a great way of bringing the community together. That being said, there is still an RFP pending from the Pennsylvania Commission on Crime and Delinquency that I'm hoping the city will apply for. I believe the concept paper needs to be in within the next several weeks. So I just wondered from the managing director, are we moving ahead with that application?
Yes, we
I
are
don't know.
moving ahead with that, Counselor. And to your point, yes, this is a community call to action, just like the mayor pointed out 2 weeks ago. We can't do it all by ourselves. We need community partners, and we need those who are willing to get engaged. I commend you for having your meetings last week, and we have had other entities reach out to us today, as a matter of fact, and I'll be following up tomorrow. So yes, this is a call to action for everyone in the community, and yes, we will definitely take a look at that grant application and submit in a timely fashion.
Yeah, and if you would bounce off, I know Johanny's been engaged with a community member, the mayor has been. I have been, I think, to be able to know what their applications that were already submitted to PCCD look like, so we can build on that, because some really good dialogue happening, and just so much that we can be doing in the community.
Yes.
Also, as a follow-up to last week's meeting, I want to thank the mayor and the administration for taking a look at that property right away. I got a call the next morning, a lot of dialogue going on, but it made me realize some of the legal challenges we face trying to move ahead quickly with properties. I believe we're taking the right path and maybe need to continue to document what we're doing and what works in order to be able to apply that to other situations. I'm crossing my fingers. The neighbors are crossing their fingers. So let's keep moving forward. Thank you.
All right, are there any additional comments from members of council? All right, if not, we're going to move on to thank you, Abe and Mayor, for your report. We're going to move on to the Office of the City Auditor report, and welcome Maria. Good evening, Maria.
Oh, boy.
Good evening, Council President. Good evening, everyone. The first item on my report is an update as of August 31st, 2021 for the real estate transfer tax. For the month of August, the city received, the city revenue is $1,078,840.76 for real estate transfer tax. As of August 31st, 2021, 5.9 million has been recorded in revenue for this line item, which is the highest amount in the last 5 years. The revenue for real estate transfer has already exceeded its budget target by 1.2 million. Since January of this year, 1,741 transactions for real estate transfer tax has been completed, of which 1,468 transactions were taxable and 273 transactions were not taxable. Consequently, the city recorded 1.4 million revenue for properties sold for more than $500,000 threshold for this fiscal year so far. The second line item, it is on my report, is the earning income tax as of August 31st, 2021. The city general fund recorded 14.2 million in revenue for earning income tax, although about 2.1 million less in revenue was budgeted for 2021 compared to 2020 budget. The city earning income tax is slightly higher this year by $49,671.47 compared to the revenue recorded for the same period of 2020. In 2015, the DCD granted $520,000 to the city, and according to the CED guidelines, a closeout audit is needed by October 28, 2021. The closeout audit will be conducted by a bank company, and the audit result will be provided as soon after the completion of the closeout audit. This is my report for tonight, and I'm open for any questions that you might have.
All right, thank you, Maria. Are there any comments or questions for Maria regarding her report?
It's
All right.
Marcia.
Go ahead, Marcia.
Okay, and this is maybe to the administration, as the budget's being developed and we're projecting revenues for next year, are these reports being taken in consideration as far as coming up with a targeted amount?
Yes.
We had a meeting, the finance director, myself, Linda Kelleher was at the meeting, and all the employees from the finance department, and we was talking about the revenues line item and how much money the city have received so far, like real estate transfer tax, the money that the city is receiving from the parking authority. Those big line item we have been looking, and also the smaller one as well.
And this will be the last year for the commuter tax, am I correct?
Yes,
For
ma'am, you are
2022.
correct.
Yes.
Okay. We really need to keep that in the mix as that will be a budget issue, but it's really critical. And I don't know that we've done what we've needed to do to communicate with our legislators, find out where they are at with supporting
Yes.
that.
For capital Oye, yes, it will be an issue, moving forward.
Okay, thank you, Maria.
You're welcome.
All right, are there any additional questions for the auditor at this time? All right, Maria, thank you so much for your report.
Jeff,
We
I'm
are
so
gonna
sorry.
You gotta speak up. I cannot see you. Go ahead, Lucy.
I know I was slow on that one. Maria, I think it's important to me that you feel confident as we start to administer the resources of ARPA moving forward, and moving those monies, that you are also involved in watching that process step by step, just to make sure that we are being compliant in all the reporting that we need to do, and we're staying within the boundaries, that are designed for us. So not necessarily a question. I just want to make sure that you are involved and you feel, confident in the way that we're moving forward.
Do you mean when the administration asking council to transfer any funds?
No, not necessarily when they're asking us to transfer it. That, as it's being put in front of us, as we're starting to designate funding specifically, from the relief aid to projects, right? That you are part of the process in, I guess, the very diligent paperwork and trails and reporting that needs to be done, in tandem with the administration and council, because this is really going to be a team effort, I think, to make sure that we do it in the best way possible.
Agree. I was mentioning that the other day, and that's right. Like I'm here by myself right now. Caroline got promoted to be the accounting manager.
Right.
I don't want to hire this first one who come, though I really want to hire somebody who's capable, to do a good job, and I can rely on that person as well. And I was talking to someone the other day, like the city has many projects going on right now, and this is going to be for a couple of years. So I would like to have in my hands more deep in those projects and the money involved in those projects as well.
All right, thank you, Maria. Are there any additional comments for Maria?
This is Marcia again, Jeff. And this isn't a comment for Maria, but I just think we need to keep in mind the status of the federal budget and the impasse that's occurring now and how that might affect future funding of our projects. And I just think we just need to know we're not working in isolation from our other funding sources.
All right. Thank you, Maria, for the report. We are going to move on to ordinances for final passage. The first ordinance is number 65-2021, authorizing the transfer of $45,000 within the 2021 Department of Public Works Utilities Division budget to contracted services, in contracted services to Power and Light to cover storm and related electrical costs for the rest of the year. This was introduced at the September 13th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? If there are no comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Councilor Marmaru, seconded by Councilor Goodman Hinnerschitz to enact Bill number 65, 2021, which authorizes the transfer of $45,000 within the Public Works budget. Ms. Cepeda Freitas?
You're on mute.
You're on mute, Johanny. Yes?
She's shaking her head.
Got it. Ms. Goodman Hintershitz?
Yes.
Mr. Marmaru?
Yes.
Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Helmut?
Yes.
Ms. Ventura?
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays. Before we move on to the next ordinance, Jeff, before we move on to the next ordinance, Wanda Holdren just popped in. She wanted to say a word of thanks.
Oh, absolutely. Wanda, welcome, and the floor is yours.
I want to say thank you for the honor to give me that award. It's always my pleasure to continue working with the community and keep the culture alive. Hopefully I can continue doing my job, and hopefully I can still continue doing a good job, not only for our community, for our children's too. That's one of the most important for me. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Thank you, Wanda. All right, thank you. Our next ordinance is Bill number 67-2021, authorizing a budget transfer for legal services rendered to the Charter Board in the amount of $30,000 from the Law Special Counsel Legal Services. This was introduced at the September 13th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? If there are no comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Goodman Hintershitz, seconded by Counselor Sahilnik, to enact Bill number 67, 2021, which authorizes a budget transfer of $30,000 for the Charter Board. Ms. Goodman Hintershitz?
Yes.
Mr. Marmaru?
Yes.
Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Sahilnik?
Yes.
Ms. Ventura?
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas? Got it. Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Our next ordinance is Bill number 68-2021, authorizing the amendment of the capital improvement plan budget by providing $248,578 for funding the cost of the fire system upgrades at the main library building. This is to be paid by Public Works property budget line item. This was introduced at the September 13th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? All right, if there are no comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Sahilnik, seconded by Counselor Marmaru, to enact Bill number 68, 2021, which authorizes a capital improvement budget amendment of $248,578 for a fire system upgrade for the library. Mr. Marmaru?
Yes.
Ms. Reed?
Yes.
Ms. Sahilnik?
Yes.
Ms. Ventura?
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas? Got it. Ms. Goodman Hintershitz?
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Okay, our next ordinance is Bill number 69-2021, authorizing the transfer of $1,033,992.26 within the agency fund from contracted services to grants and gifts for the purchase of EMS equipment using $983,672.73 in FEMA grant funding. This was introduced at the September 13th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments? All right, if there are no comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Reed, seconded by Counselor Sahilnik, to enact Bill number 69, 2021, which authorizes a $1.4 million transfer within the agency fund for the purchase of EMS equipment. Ms. Sahilnik?
Yes.
Ms. Ventura?
Yes.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas? Got it. Ms. Goodman Hintershitz?
yes,
Mr. Marmarin?
yes,
Ms. Reed?
yes,
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Our next ordinance is Bill number 70-2021, authorizing the appropriation of $3 million in the American Rescue Plan Act funding to the Berks County Convention Center Authority for the Santander Arena and the Performing Arts Center to assist with them to recover from the financial losses due to the closure of the facilities due to the pandemic. This was introduced at the September 13th regular meeting. Is there a motion?
so
Please.
moved,
so,
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. As you know, we previously passed a resolution just denoting our willingness to support this. This is the actual ordinance moving the monies from the funding, ARP funding, so it's available to be transmitted to them. Are there any comments or questions on this specific ordinance?
I didn't get who moved it.
Marcia did,
And who was the second?
Strat was,
Strat. Thank you.
Yep. All right, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Goodman Hintershitz, seconded by Counselor Marmarow to enact Bill number 70-2021, which authorizes the allocation of $3 million in ARPA funding to the Convention Center Authority. Ms. Ventura?
Yeah.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas? Got it. Ms. Goodman Hintershitz?
yes,
Mr. Marmarow?
yes,
Ms. Reed?
yes,
Ms. Sahelnick?
yes,
Mr. Waltman, President. Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Our next ordinance is Bill number 71-2021, authorizing the amendment of the capital improvement plan budget to transfer funds in the amount of $46,425 to cover the cost of the Third and Spruce Gym HVAC system upgrades. This was introduced at the September 13th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
so moved,
second,
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments or questions at this time? If not, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Goodman Hintershitz, seconded by Counselor Marmarow to enact Bill number 71-2021, which authorizes an amendment in the CIP budget to transfer funds in the amount of $46,425 for the HV system at the Third and Spruce Gym. Ms. Cepeda Freitas? Got it. Ms. Goodman Hintershitz?
oh, yes,
Mr. Marmarow?
yes,
Ms. Reed?
yes,
Ms. Sahelnick?
yes,
Ms. Ventura?
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
7 yeas, no nays.
Our final ordinance for passage this evening is Bill number 72-2021, increasing the base salary of the Deputy Chief of Police to $101,757.04 per year. This was introduced at the September 13th regular meeting. Is there a motion, please?
so moved,
second,
Been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments, please? All right, if there are no comments, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Counselor Sahelnick, seconded by Counselor Marmarow to enact Bill number 72-2021, which authorizes the increase of the base salary of the Deputy Police Chief to $101,757. Ms. Goodman Hintershitz?
yes,
Mr. Marmarow?
yes,
Ms. Reed?
abstain,
I don't believe you can abstain.
Yeah, what's your
I'm not
reasoning for
voting yes or
abstaining?
no, so I guess I vote present.
Well, you have to vote yes or no.
Then I step away and I don't cast a vote.
Wait a minute, hold on a second. We're still on Bill 72 here, correct, right?
Correct.
Donna, you have the responsibility, you have to vote.
I abstain.
I'm gonna
Point of
make a
order,
motion.
Jeff.
Yeah,
Could
I'm
I
gonna make a
point of
motion
order
to
and get from our
recess.
solicitor?
Yeah, Solicitor, can we get a ruling on this, please?
Yeah, I'll look up the exact section, but I think it does call for, you have to vote. We've been through this before. I think in the past where, you have to vote yes, yeah or nay on it.
Donna?
I'm not changing my mind.
Fred, I need some direction here.
It makes sense. I will leave the meeting at this time.
Well, I don't know that we want to start a habit where when we don't want to vote, we just leave the meeting. Donna, is there some rationale that you care to share or what? We had discussed this pre-meeting. I'm just trying to understand.
I am simply uncomfortable with this and I cannot vote.
Well,
for
then
it.
no is an uncomfortable vote.
I won't, I'm not changing my mind. So you can hold me in contempt, whatever you want to.
Well, Donna, if you don't support it, you're welcome to vote no. We can't have 7 council members deciding when they do and they don't want to vote on something. I'm just trying to be helpful here. You know what I mean? We're going to set a horrible precedent if we don't vote our conscience. Surely you have the ability to vote no if you feel that if you don't like any part of it, it doesn't mean you don't stand for most of it, but you can certainly vote no on that premise. But we can't live in the middle here. Just trying to be helpful. Donna. All right, we're going to make a motion to recess. Can somebody second that motion?
I second.
All right, we're going to recess.
Yeah, Jeff, 5 minutes.
You have 5 minutes. Donna, I'm going to give you a call. Everyone else can remain on the call here, and I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
What's going on?
Fred,
Yes,
I'm in the administrative code.
okay.
Hang on.
I seem to recall this happening when there was a nomination and Strat, I think you tried to abstain once and they wouldn't permit it.
Me?
Yes,
No, I don't recall.
not tonight. He's talking about a while ago.
Yes, I'm in the chart. I started at the charter, but I don't see it there. It's probably in the administrative code.
It's in there somewhere. It's about how the vote's recorded when there's an abstention.
You would-
The vote of upon any motion, resolution, or ordinance will be taken by roll call. The city clerk will clarify aloud the yeas and nays of each council member entering the minutes. On the call of yeas and nays, no member shall be excused from voting. There it is.
There-
It's
There
rule
you go.
number 5B. If you want to text Jeff and say, and maybe text him, because if he's talking to, if he's talking to Donna, he can explain to her, this is what it is, so we don't have to do this, you know?
And what's that section again?
It's, if you go to, in 5-208 rules of procedure, section section B5,
Got it.
rule number 5, voting. So rule 5B.
Put it up the screen.
Hang on, I can only do 50 things at a time.
By the way, did you see the link that I sent you? I don't know if it works or not. I just Googled it to get rid of people in the chat, just to get rid of their chat room altogether when when it's getting bombarded with Spanish profanities.
That's not the chat room, that's the Facebook message. So would you read what it says on that chapter, Fred? Or maybe we need to wait for everyone to be back online. I just want to understand because I thought I understood parliamentary procedure fairly well.
There it is.
We all need to hear the same thing from Fred.
Right.
Hang on a minute. I just texted Jeff that section.
Yeah.
Okay, Fred, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, Donna has rejoined us. I told her, from what I can tell, you know, you have to vote. What is your position on this matter? Because, you know, the only way she cannot vote is what I believe is to leave the meeting, but I may be wrong. So I want to make sure I'm clear on this. Fred? Is Fred there?
He's on mute.
Ooh,
Sorry, yeah. The
is he calling me?
No.
No,
Fred, are you there, please?
he's on
yeah,
mute,
it's
Jeff.
under 5-208 in our administrative code, and I believe it's section B, and it's rule 5.
Oh,
I'm having trouble pulling it up on my screen.
I
Yeah,
have
what
it
does
up.
it say, Fred?
It says the yeas and nays of each council person will be entered into the minutes. On the call of yeas and nays, no member shall be excused from voting as such unless the consent of council and the solicitor or a bona fide conflict of interest exists, as defined in Part 10 Code of Ethics or other provisions of general law. Unless a council member is so excused or prevented from voting, the failure to vote shall be recorded as an affirmative vote.
Yeah, I remember that now.
So there you go. Unless you lobby, and I don't know what a formal, I don't know what a formal approval of council would be. We've never done that. So what we're hearing, Don, is if you don't vote, it's an affirmative vote. Is that what I'm reading, Fred?
Correct.
So your options are to not say anything or to leave the meeting, and then you're just considered not present at that point. Is that correct? Fred?
Correct. It would be, you would have to excuse her.
Jeff, I'd like to be excused.
All right, Donna, you're excused. Just trying to make sure we had everything clear.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Okay, Linda.
Can I call for a point of order?
Yeah, I am too.
what's the
Council
point of-
President?
go ahead. Yep.
I'm sorry, since I've never experienced this before, you just excused her, but is that, I thought that it said the council had to agree, the body had to agree.
No, what Fred read said the body had to agree to not make her vote.
Correct.
Yeah, she requested to be excused. I have no choice but to honor that. I can't retain her. You see?
No, I'm just trying to take it
Yeah,
one step at a
these are
time.
uncharted waters. So we're good to go at this point. Donna's chose to leave. I think the fact that she found out that her vote would be affirmative if she stayed was not what she wanted to do, and for whatever reasons, that's fine. I just want to make sure she was clear on all her options before we did anything. So under short order, that's about as good as we can do. All right, Linda, going back to the question here on ordinance 72-2021, can we have a roll call, please?
Yes, we have 2 yays from Ms. Goodman Hendershitz and Mr. Marmaru. Then we go to Ms. Sahelnick,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
No.
Ms. Cepeda Freitas, did she say yes?
She's not saying anything. She's not moving her head.
Johanny, can you unmute your microphone, please?
Her microphone's not working, I don't think, Abe.
Can you,
I can't read, I don't think we can read her lips. Could she put it in the chat room? Would that be allowable?
I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Okay, now we
Yes.
can, yeah.
Okay, we are voting on the ordinance, correct?
Right.
yes,
Hello?
yes.
Yeah,
think I'm
Johanny,
close.
we're waiting
Can you
on
hear
your
me?
vote. We're waiting
Hello?
on your vote, Johanny. Johanny.
We're voting
Can
on
you
the
hear-
ordinance?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm having technical difficulties. Are we voting on the ordinance? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, okay. All right. Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
That's 5 yays, 1 nay.
All right, we're going to move on to the next item on our agenda. It's introduction of new ordinances. I'm going to ask the Councilwoman Marcia Goodman Hendershitz to please read them onto the record.
Yes, I will, sir. A, ordinance authorizing an increase of the base salary of the wastewater treatment plant laboratory supervisor by $5,000 per annum, payable in equal bi-monthly installments, retroactive to January 1st, 2021, due to an increase in responsibilities. B, ordinance amending the city code, chapter 576, vehicles and traffic, part 13, motorized devices, section 1306, by adding the requirement for the ATV/dirt bike owner to provide proof of a title and proof of insurance prior to the release of the vehicle. C, ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances, Chapter 62, new officers and employees pension fund, Section 102, to prohibit the participation of new members where the employee is hired or rehired on or after January 1st, 2022. D, ordinance amending City Code, Chapter 23, Part 7, by repealing the minority business Procurement Advisory Board and replacing it with the Equal Business Opportunity Advisory Board. E, ordinance amending the position ordinance by increasing the base salary of the auditing coordinator by $3,600, which is available from salary savings in the salary line item of the city auditor 2021 budget, bringing the salary to $55,000. F, ordinance amending the Fund 43 City Facilities Construction Fund budget ordinance, reallocating $1 million in funding for the construction of the new 9th and Marion Fire Station. And G, ordinance amending the City Code, Chapter 62, no officers and employees position fund by adding a defined contribution plan. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Marcia, for reading them onto the record. We do have one resolution this evening, and that comes from the consent agenda. The resolution reads as follows. Authorizing the execution and resubmission of the application for Phase 2 of the Eggleman's Park Improvement Project. Total project cost of $325,000. $250,000 is coming through a DCED Greenways, Trails, and Recreation Program grant, and the remaining $75 is coming through the Capital Improvement Plan. Is there a motion to move this resolution forward?
So moved.
Second.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. Are there any comments?
Yes, and I had asked for this to be moved from the consent agenda because I just wanted the administration. I don't know who would be clarifying. I believe the managing director did in his report. The individuals that I represent in that section of District 2 are very, very interested in what the project's going to look like, considering that the dam has been drained for several years now. So I don't know who can answer from the administration.
Well, Councilor, as I said, alluded to in my report earlier, we do have a follow-up meeting tomorrow at 1 o'clock, and I'll be more than happy to report those findings and deliberations to you after.
Yeah, and that being said, I just want to make sure that we in some way publicly let the folks know what's going to be happening to a very prized and valued part of our public park system. And I understand why the dam needed to be drained. That's a given, looking more DEP, but now I think we need to be excited and be ready to move on to the next phase.
Good.
All right, are there any additional comments? If not, Linda, can we have a roll call, please?
Motion was made by Councilor Goodman Henderson, seconded by Councilor Salnick, to adopt Resolution 90, 2021, which authorizes the submission of a $325,000 grant for Eggleman's Dam and Park. Mr. Marmaru,
Yeah,
Ms. Reed, oops, sorry. Ms. Sahelnick,
Yes.
Ms. Ventura,
Yes.
Mr. Peter Freitas,
Yes.
Ms. Goodman Henderson,
Yes.
Mr. Waltman, President.
Yes.
6 yeas, no nays.
All right, council, that moves us to our final order of business this evening, and it's just council comments, or if the administration, if anybody has anything pressing to discuss as well, we'll open up the floor. If you could just announce that you have something to say so I can hear you, that would be great. Anybody have any comments?
Yes, Jeff, I do.
Okay, go ahead, Lucy.
Okay. Actually, I have a lot of comments, so let me try to get through them. First of all, I want to let everybody know that Mary's Shelter, which is in District 1 in the 18th Ward, is having an open house on the 8th of October. That's from 10 in the morning until 6 p.m., so quite a long open day. But it's really to show the renovations that they've been working on for their programs, in particular their STRONG program as well. I want to continue to acknowledge the South of Penn in the efforts and activities in which they do. This weekend, they had so many things going on, including the porch concerts that have been really successful. I think they are exemplary in the demonstration of what the mayor has asked in terms of community organizations connecting directly with the people who live block by block to start to work on issues like safety and crime and trash. So you can follow along in terms of all of their events that they do on an ongoing basis. The Reading Firefighters Museum, which is also on the South Side, is having their Fire Safety and Prevention Day on the 9th of October. That's from 10 to 2, and you will have to go to meet Blaze the Fire Dog and Smokey Bear. So if you haven't gone yet, this is the perfect opportunity to go. Also, I want to acknowledge the Reading Public Museum. We've talked about their Touches Essential exhibit, but also they have a story walk exhibit that's out in the Arboretum and on the walking path, in addition to changing over their new exhibits for the season, and of course, their planetarium shows. The Youth Commission is meeting on October 6th. This is very important because they have been tasked with talking about the issues of youth violence and gangs and safety within our community. And I believe that members of the police department will be attending to really open and have a thoughtful dialogue with these members of our community, as Council President had requested. So the Youth Commission is doing an outstanding job. And finally, the Parking Authority and the comment from Pastor McCracken on the from St. James on the parking. Parking seems to have come up many, many, many times. And when I respond, I always try to direct people to the Parking Authority itself, to their board of directors, to the executive director. They are an authority. They are an arm per se of the city of Reading, but it is not specifically within the city governance. And it's very important that everybody who is speaking to us is speaking directly to them. I think it may be appropriate to ask or invite members of their leadership to attend a meeting and to be able to discuss, what we're hearing. Certainly, if there's an infraction, there will be a penalty. So just a reminder to people that these tickets that are being issued because there are infractions that are occurring. So be really cautious as to where you are parking, where you're leaving your vehicle. We certainly don't want you to feel that you have to hide your vehicle somewhere or anything like that. But please be aware of where you are parking, because that's where you are incurring those infractions. And in regards to Sunday parking, I'm sure that we will be discussing that. And I appreciate constituency reaching out to let us know how they feel about that. Thank you.
All right, any additional comments from anyone?
Johanny has her hand up.
Go ahead.
Hi,
Johanny.
thank you, Marcia. And thank you, Lucine, for the Reading Parking Authority, because I would like for us to maybe make some time for them to definitely present to us. And maybe we need to revisit the decisions that we made and see if we need to be modifying some of these ordinances. I just want to make some announcements of things happening in District 6 and in other parts of our city as well. So the first thing is September 30th, this Wednesday, our state rep Manny Guzman Jr. is hosting a job fair at 3rd and Spruce from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So all you job seekers, make sure you show up. He has well over 30 employers that will be in attendance. A reminder, Penn Street Market is almost coming to its conclusion. So every Thursday, or this Thursday, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at 638 Penn Street is the Penn Street Market. First Friday, our Reading Public Library is having their annual fundraiser at the DoubleTree this Friday, October 1st. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, make sure you purchase it. It's from 6 to 9 p.m. at the DoubleTree. First Friday is being held this Friday at 5th and Penn from 5 to 10. the Reading Distillery Guild Saturday in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month is having DJ Chamo King from Roomba radio station. And finally, the Reading Film Fest this weekend, October 2nd, October 3rd, they're having their events at the Goggle Works. So for all of you who are always saying there's nothing to do in Reading, there's plenty to do. Come out, enjoy the events, the festivities, the community activities. So that's it for now. Thank you.
All right, additional comments, Marcia?
Yeah, just wanted to let the community know, the city has posted it on its website as well as the Reading Pagoda. But the road is now officially closed that normally people would take around the pagoda due to the construction work for the rerouting of the road. The city again has posted it in both English and Spanish on the website. We do have a lot of guests that come up. Most of them are being very respectful. Occasionally we're having a problem, but I've spoken with the police about that now. It won't be, but just so the public is aware that the road closure is only the first part of what needs to happen. And I want to thank my fellow council members and the administration for supporting the investments that are going to be needed to keep the pagoda on the mountainside. It's just as simple as that. It's a 115-year-old structure, and we need to give it the care and respect it needs as the icon for both our county, the city, and the region. Also, and I really enjoyed all the activities with the Hispanic Heritage Month. I did visit City Park, and it was just amazing, the different things I was learning, talking to the children with the families. Very much good culture. There's going to be another type of culture happening. It's not in the city of Reading, but very close to our borders in Lower Alsace. Reading Liederkranz will be celebrating the Oktoberfest this weekend. So there'll probably be people coming from outside our community going through the city to be able to go up Hill Road and find their way to the Liederkranz. So let's just, it might be an interesting time that we need to celebrate all our diversity of cultures. Obviously, my last name, married name being Hinnerschitz, I have a very strong German connection. So let's continue to celebrate all our cultures and move forward with that. And the last thing I just wanted to say is I want to put a shout out to all the individuals that have been helping getting our children to school safely. I've been noticing families being very respectful, walking their children to school, watching the crosswalks, doing a lot of activities, and it's just been very rewarding to see how close and supportive our families are in this community. So I look forward to the beginning of the school year is getting out to a more positive start this year, and it's been great. So thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you out in the community.
All right, additional comments, anyone?
Yes,
Jeff,
Mr. I'm sorry,
Oh.
Lucine, please. All right.
No, I think you might be addressing what I was going to say. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that the administration has been planning for a city Halloween event in conjunction with the mayor's office, the youth
Good.
commission, the police department, Public Works, I'm So Reading, and Berks County Nightmare. And we're going to soon be posting an online sign-up form where groups, businesses, local and small, sports groups, dance academies, arts, kids organizations will be able to participate. We'll be taking over the 500 block of Penn Street for a community event. So stay tuned for those events. I'll have more for you in the future. Thanks.
Great.
Thank you, Abe.
That's fabulous.
We was gonna conclude with that. Also, thank everyone that wrote in. Thank you all for that. You're being heard.
All right, are there additional comments from anyone?
Yeah, Jeff, I know the mayor just tried to make some comments and it was inaudible. So if he's still online and you can type them, Mayor, if you can hear me and you can type your comments, that way we can see them because I couldn't hear what you were saying.
Let me go outside. Can you guys hear me any better now?
Yeah.
Awesome. I was just thanking first of all, thanking the managing director for that last statement. Actually was going to conclude precisely with that information on the upcoming Halloween activity, which is collaborations of the initiative of the mayor's office, but collaboration with others. I also was thanking the constituents that wrote in and made their voices been heard. Thank you, you're being heard. And I also wanted to acknowledge that I haven't been able to attend all of the meetings, not because not wanting to, but because I had a conflict in my schedule with my son's schooling. Also, as you've been
Right.
experiencing today, I also have some challenges in the area that I live with connections to these virtual meetings. So, but it wasn't because of a lack of interest. So that's just FYI.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Thank you for Lucine pointing out the communication issues. We'll open the floor up for anybody else who has any comments at this point. All right, if there are no additional comments, just allow me to go over the meeting schedule real quickly. We have next Monday night, in the afternoon, we have our nominations and appointments committee at 4 o'clock. We have our special meeting to introduce the budget related ordinances at 5 o'clock, followed by a committee of the whole meeting. And then on Monday, October 11th, we will have our next committee of the whole meeting, immediately followed by our next regular business meeting on the 11th of October. If there are no other comments at this time, we simply need a motion to adjourn.
You got it.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Nice, Marcia. Beautiful.
How did-
Have a good
how did
night.
you-